Yo, what is up everyone? What if is here with One Piece discussion video. So today's discussion will be based on the latest chapter of One Piece, chapter 143. So in this chapter, at the end of it, we get to see Luffy pretty much in a weird state of what we can presume is his awakening. So we will pretty much go in depth with it in today's video. So what the first thing that is happening to Luffy, that most of us presume that that his body is in a suspended animation state. Maybe he's dead or maybe he's just conscious, but it is in a weird state where you can't hear his voice. Now in this chapter is called voice, and I will pretty much see it or get the meaning of it as his presence. His presence was gone, and suddenly he just smiles at the end of the story and at the end of the chapter. So what does it means for Luffy? So how I took, and most of them people were saying that it's Joy Boy who overtook Luffy's body, but I won't go that far, and I will give you a simple theory on what is actually happening with Luffy at this point. So my stance are that Luffy has the same fruit as Joy Boy 800 years ago, and when Joy Boy was the only person to actually awaken his powers. So when you awaken the power of the Gum Gum no Mi, or whatever its real name is, your presence changes and it gives a voice that most people who have mastered the observation haki to a certain level can hear it. So hearing that pretty much, so now that Luffy has also awakened his Gum Gum no Mi, his presence didn't disappear, it actually changed to the same presence that Joy Boy gave 800 years ago. And this is why Zunisha, when he recognized Luffy's voice or his presence, he pretty much told that Joy Boy has returned. So it does not really mean that Joy Boy literally returned from death or time traveled or anything. It's just that Luffy has the same presence as Joy Boy at this point by unlocking his devil fruit. Now how did he do that? So we can pretty much presume that he restarts his own heart with his devil fruit. Now we have seen this phenomena happening with Enel in the Skypiea arc, where he pretty much quote-unquote died when Viper blasted an impact dial on Enel's heart, but he was able to bring himself back to life by using his devil fruit. So we can presume the same thing that happened with what Enel did. Luffy did the same thing, but with his Gum Gum fruit. Now people might say that how Luffy is able to manipulate his heartbeat with his Gum Gum no Mi. But now that we go back and see that Luffy was always able to manipulate, at the very least, his heartbeat with his Gum Gum no Mi in his second gear, where he pretty much controlled his blood flow to boost it up. And how does people do, and how was he able to do that? Well, the answer is obvious, by manipulating his heartbeat, obviously. So he did that the same, but now he did it unconsciously. It's not the first time that that Luffy used an ability while being unconscious. He used Conqueror's Haki in the beginning of this arc against Cairo, well, when he was unconscious. So we know for a fact that Luffy can use ability while being unconscious or in a suspended animation state. So he may have done the same thing here, which pretty much bring him back to life, or pretty much brought him conscious, how we pretty much get to see him at the end of the chapter. So this is pretty much the stance, how I think what is happening with Luffy. And when it comes to his devil fruit, I think that his awakening is pretty much similar to Katakuri, or Katakuri's basic devil fruit, which is a special paramecia that now Luffy can actually create rubber out of thin air from his own body, or because we get to see some gluey substance coming out of Luffy's hair, or it may be his hair transformed. So I presume that to be just rubber at a melted state. Now that he can create rubber and pretty much manipulate it to his own will. So this is my stance on what is actually happening with Luffy at this point of the story. So, and I am mega hyped to see what is going to happen after this chapter. But unfortunately, we had to wait for 2 weeks since there is a break, and these 2 weeks are going to be very difficult for me, to be honest, because I'm so much hyped to see what Luffy will actually do with this new power that he has had. And I don't think so. And again, just as a conclusion, I'm telling it again that I don't think it's Joy Boy, because if I had to bring another point, and that is that Oda has emphasized Luffy versus Kaido to be a one-on-one fight as much as possible. As much as possible, I am saying. Because on the other hand, it's not a complete one-on-one fight, because Kaido had fight with other people too, but the one who did the most damage to Kaido was Luffy, on and on again. So by that we can pretty much assume that Oda is trying to make this fight as much as 1v1 as possible. So it won't really make any much sense to just bring Joy Boy and let Joy Boy fight beside or even behalf of Luffy against Kaido, because it is pretty much Luffy's fight. It's a very important part of his journey as a pirate, and his pride as a pirate depends on this fight. So I don't think so that Oda is going to let anyone else fight Kaido or finish him beside Luffy. It will so with that, this is my uptake on this chapter and pretty much what is happening with Luffy. So by that, Waterfist signing out.